Hello, this is Intermediate Microeconomics 2 and our chapter is welfare. So in this chapter we're going to talk about some very important topics, and these are the keywords and key concepts that you should make sure that you understand what they mean in order to say that you understand and feel comfortable about this chapter. So what are those key concepts? So a quick review. We're going to start with the concept of fairness, fair allocation. And it basically boils down to two things. So an allocation is fair if it is Pareto efficient and it satisfies equity, or as I like to call it, envy freeness. All right? Well, we already know Pareto efficiency. Therefore, all we have to describe is what it means an allocation is being satisfying equity or envy freeness. All right? And then fairness, as I said, is an allocation which is Pareto efficient and satisfies equity. Well, then I'll talk about how to find a fair allocation. All right? There could be many, but we're going to talk about finding at least one fair allocation. So we're going to talk about one graphical representation, sort of graphical explanation how to find it, and then numerical example. And then I'll talk about aggregation of preferences, what it means and you know how we use it. Specifically, we're going to talk about two voting rules. The first one is Condorcet, the second one is board account voting. There are many other voting rules, obviously, but we're going to sort of focus on these two. It's important that you understand how these voting rules work. And then I'll talk about social welfare functions, particularly utilitarian social welfare functions, and what it means finding an allocation that optimizes social welfare function, which means a Pareto efficient allocation. We'll talk about that. And we're going to basically finish this chapter by Arrow's impossibility theorem. It's in some sense a negative result, which basically says there's no way to find a nice voting rules or not nice social welfare function which satisfies three properties: the independence of irrelevance alternatives, the Pareto efficiency, and then what was the third one? Independence of irrelevance, alternative, Pareto efficiency, and the third one is not leading to Condorcet paradox, which we should also talk about when we talk about Condorcet voting. So what it means, Condorcet paradox. All right, it's also Condorcet paradox. It's also an important property. All right, so let's start with the concept of fairness. All right, well, although we can apply this concept to any framework, I'll talk about it in the framework in exchange economy. All right, so exchange economy without any production. Let's remember we had two agents. Let's call them A and B. Again, we can generalize this to many agent case. For simplicity, let's stick to two agents. And we have two goods. I'm going to call them good X and good Y. Once again, we can generalize it to any number of goods, but for simplicity, stick to two good case. Each individual comes to the market with some initial endowments, non-zero initial endowments. And then they exchange, they trade, potentially different than the initial endowments. They end up with what I call an allocation for agent A, which represents how many good X and good Y she has, and an allocation for agent B, which basically represents how many good X and how many good Y she could have. So this vector, which has four dimensions, is going to represent an allocation. All right, so an allocation like this we call fair if it satisfies two things. One, it satisfies Pareto efficiency, so it's Pareto efficient. And then second, it satisfies equity, or what I call it envy freeness, or just envy free. All right, the allocation is envy free. I'm going to talk about what it means. We already know what Pareto efficient allocation is. There is no way to make one agent better off without hurting the other agent, remember? So there's no win-win situation. Or alternatively, the allocation is on the contract curve or in the Pareto set. If this is the case, then the allocation is Pareto efficient. All right. The second thing, the equity or envy freeness, is very simple. No agent envies the other agent's allocation. All right. No agent envies the other agent's allocation. Well, what does envy mean? It's like when an agent envy the other agent's allocation. Well, agent A envies agent B's allocation if and only if utility of agent A, when she consumes agent B's allocation, is greater than utility of the same, her utility, if instead she consumes her own allocation. All right? So once again, an agent A envies another agent's allocation means her utility when she consumes the other agent's allocation is higher, strictly higher than her utility if she consumes her own allocation. All right? So I envy you, in a sense, basically because I like your allocation. I like what you have more than what I have. All right? So once again, I envy you if I prefer, if I get higher utility with what you have in comparison to what I have. All right? So that's what an agent envying another agent's allocation. So therefore, equity means no agent envies another agent's allocation. All right? So that doesn't mean that the agent's utilities must be the same. All right? But what it means is like the agent A would prefer what she already has, and agent B prefers what she has. All right? So they're not going to say, oh, you know what you have is better than what I have. So that's not going to be the case. All right? So if an allocation is envy-free and Pareto efficient, well, then we call this allocation fair. You may wonder why Pareto efficiency is important. Well, when we talk about fairness, obviously, in real life, we use fairness in different places. For example, we talk about a process being fair, right? But here, there's no such thing as process. We talk about fairness of an outcome, an allocation, all right? So sort of a distribution of goods is fair. So don't forget that when I say allocation, it means distribution of goods is fair. So if the distribution of goods is not efficient, it means there is actually a win-win situation. There's another, so again, if the distribution of goods is not efficient, it means there's a better way of distributing these goods, which will improve not only your situation, but also my situation. So we're going to envy not each other, but we're going to envy that situation. All right, so that's the idea. So this shouldn't be the case if we're talking about a fair allocation. This shouldn't be the case. The agents should say, oh, you know what? There's no way we can make both of us happier, or if we have more than two agents, there's no way to make all of us happier. Okay? So extending this concept to more than two goods is pretty simple, right? Because here we don't really talk about whether we have two goods or five goods. All it matters is the allocation of the agent. So this is agent A's allocation, So that's what I mean by agent's allocation. This is agent B's allocation. All right, so whether she has two goods or five goods doesn't matter when it comes to this definition. The second thing, what if we have more than two agents, say five agents? Well, then again, the no agent should envy any other agent. So if agent A envies, okay, maybe she doesn't envy B, but she envies agent D. Well, so it means the allocation is not envy-free. All right, so because there is some envy going on in this framework. So a fair allocation should be the one, I mean the distribution of allocation is fair if it is Pareto efficient and nobody envies nobody else. That's not good. Nobody envies the other agents. All right, so basically that's it. So now let's talk about finding fair allocation, again in an exchange economy.